So I heard you want to learn how to crochet. Okay, let's get into it. I think the very first thing that people should know is the difference between knitting and crocheting. Knitting is done with 2 needles. It's by placing the yarn on one needle and then transferring it over to the other needle. Crochet is done with 1 hook. There is no transfer. Everything is done by basically making different knots with that 1 hook. So now that you know the difference, please do not confuse the 2. Unless you want to get stabbed in the eye with a hook or a needle, I would firmly suggest learning the difference. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about crochet hooks. There are many types of crochet hooks out there, okay? Crochet hooks are identified by either US or metric names. For example, a 5.5 millimeter metric size hook is also called the I9 size hook in US. Here's a lovely picture of different crochet hook sizes. You have aluminum, you have steel, you have ergonomic, you have wooden. Yeah, there's so many. I'm sure there's more, but there's so many. You even have resin hooks. They're pretty. Not that durable though, but they're pretty. You want to be as comfortable as possible because your fingers are gonna hate you if you get into crocheting. Like seriously, might want to buy a wrist brace as well because crochet streets are rough. Next, we're gonna talk about different types of yarn. You have natural fiber yarns and synthetic fiber yarns. Natural fiber yarns, well, just look at this picture. You see all that? You see all that? That's all the yarns you can get. The most popular yarn is the acrylic yarn, but depending on what you want to do, like if you want to make a nice warm sweater for the winter, you might want to use wool. Clothing and stuff, a lot of people typically go with like cotton fibers, sometimes polyester, but you know, it kind of reduces the whole like allergy thing because you never know if somebody's allergic to an alpaca. And here's a pretty diagram of the different sizes of yarns and the hooks that typically correspond with each. Now this isn't a like set in stone rule. You can absolutely use different crochet hooks for different types of yarn. It's just gonna either make your project bigger or smaller depending on the size crochet hook you use, and it might actually change the outcome of your crochet project depending on the type of crochet hook you use. Like for instance, if you're using a lace size yarn weight and you want to use a 5 millimeter hook with it, yeah, it's probably not going to come out the way you think it is. But, you know, do you? Now that we have a basic concept of what crochet is, the different hook sizes, the different types of yarn, and the different yarn weights, and what crochet hooks typically correspond with those yarn weights, we can get into learning how to actually crochet. Happy hooking!